I am attempting to do a live show again. It's early. It's only 5:43 Central Time, my time, which will be 6:43 on the East Coast, and 3:43 on the West Coast. When your channel is still small, it's hard to do live shows successfully, especially on a consistent basis. If you're watching this and it was uploaded, that means it was somewhat a success. And subscribe, like, and share, guys. I can't implore that enough. I'm getting closer to 500. That's my first goal. I hit 500, then 1,000. When I hit 1,000, this channel will take off like a rocket. But I can't get there without DC Nation support. The brothers and sisters that bleed the blue and silver that I do. Help me reach those goals. I guarantee you, you press that red subscribe button, it's a free investment. A free investment that you... Hey, what's up, Raymond? I checked out your link that you sent, my man. It's a free investment. Hit that red subscribe button, help me grow. And I guarantee you this show will become one of the shows that you look forward to watching. Just like we look forward to watching Law's show, Mike Fisher. To me, those are, 1A and 1B as far as the best content creators. Mike is in the Star every day, so he has the best information, and Law Nation just does what he does so damn well. Chat Sports is like a big company. So I don't really count them as, content creators, guys that started with their phone, just like I'm starting with my Galaxy. I should have started this many years ago. I didn't know how easy it was to start your own cowboy show. Or I just started this in 2013, 2014. Let's if you're watching, you might want to maybe fast forward to the 5-10 minute mark. That's when things get popping. Dan, appreciate you jumping in, my man. Driving but listening, that's smart. Try not to text and drive. My wife does that all the time. Drives me freaking nuts. I think that's why she had 3 accidents last year alone. So, basically, tonight I'm trying to do what I was trying to do. Well, today it's not really night yet. It's night-ish. Trying to do what I was trying to do last night, which was week 11 approaching us on Sunday, starting the night with Bengals and Ravens. That really has nothing to do with us. But week 11, what we're going to be watching out for. Pretty confident. Panthers game's not going to be a trap game. Our trap game, we already got trapped in. That was in Arizona. Going to go to Carolina, handle business, go to 7-3. The games that we got to be watching out for will be Monday night. Philly going to Arrowhead. Now, it's not like that Philly's coming off a bye week, well-rested, playing the Chiefs team that's kind of tired. Kansas City had a bye week last week also. So they had equal time to prepare for Philadelphia. And Andy Reid, you give him a week, I believe he's a better coach, than Nick Sirianni. Certainly has a lot more skins on the wall than Nick Sirianni does. And every team that the Eagles have played, they've been carved up in the secondary. Week 1, Mac Jones carved them up with Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry. You know what I mean? I mean, no-name guys like that. And at the end of the game, if the rookie receiver would have kept 2 feet in bounds at the 8-yard line, they'd have had first and goal at the 8-yard line with like 30 seconds left to win the football game. So, even though they don't have a number 1 receiver, they have Travis Kelce. In the Philly, put all their secondary resources on stopping Kelsey. There'll be a lot of one-on-ones. Now, they don't have, great receivers on the outside, but Patrick Mahomes is good enough to throw them guys open. And Philadelphia's cornerbacks are overrated. James Bradbury is an average corner. And I'm saying that with conviction. He is not a top flight corner. He's not a top 10 corner. He's an average cornerback. Darius Slay is a good cornerback, but he's not a Trayvon Diggs. He's not what Gilmore used to be. They call him Big Play Slay because he makes timely interceptions on badly thrown balls. I mean, hell, this year you could say Darius Slay is pretty much the same as DeRon Bland. DeRon Bland, yes, Giselle. What is that?
Coffee.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
my 8-year-old daughter being sweet, knowing I'm doing a video. This year, DeRon Bland, we can call him Big Play Bland because he's made big plays on badly thrown balls. All 3 pick sixes, 2 of them were horribly thrown footballs, and the first one was a, Trayvon Diggs hitting Barkley, ball pops up, he takes it to the house. Opportunistic. That's what Darius Slay is. Darius Slay is also the guy that was covering T.Y. Hilton with safety help last season on a 3rd and 30 and still allowed a first down. So their cornerbacks in man coverage, they can hold their own sometimes, but they can be got also. Chris Gons last night, his prediction for the Eagles Chiefs game was 32-28, which I can easily see it being something like that, with Philly's offense getting points on the board. Even though Kansas City's defense is allowing 16 points a game, people are forgetting that Kansas City's defense is playing ball this season. They're allowing 16 points a game. It's pretty good. I mean, in this modern era of NFL football, if your defense is allowing under 17 a game, that is damn good. I think they can hold Philly to 21 or 28 points. With that bye week, it'd be interesting to see what Jalen Hurts' knee looks like. He got lucky getting out of that Cowboy game with it unscathed. Micah Parsons, before the first half, looked like he really aggravated it. But, with the adrenaline, and the game going on, Hurts was able to shake it off and play the game and finish it. Just like Devontae Turpin was able to come back into the game after the shoulder injury and play at a high level. But then, he missed the game after because when that adrenaline wears off, then it's like, oh shit, that really does hurt. We have 8 guys on our injury report. They all full participants in practice. Thank the Lord that Peyton Hendershot is coming off IR now. His 21-day practice window has opened. We need him back to be tight end number 2 and put Schoonmaker back at number 3. Or I wouldn't even mind if, I know he's a second-round pick and he's only played 8 games, not 9 games. I wouldn't mind if Sean McEwen was tight end 3 and Schoonmaker got kicked to the practice squad. Sure, he'd get snatched up in a heartbeat, but Sean McEwen's better than Schoonmaker right now. Our second-round pick through 9 games has 3 catches, 14 yards, a touchdown, and 3 drops. That is bad. That is so damn bad. Besides 2019, when we didn't have a first-round pick, our second-round pick, hell, man, who? Oh, the guy was so bad I can't remember his name. Interior defensive lineman. What was that guy's name? 2019. We didn't have a first-round pick because we traded for Cooper the year before. We traded for this cat. We drafted this guy in the second round, and he was complete flop. Not Taco Charlton. Taco Charlton was our first-round pick in 2017. I cannot remember this guy's name, man. But Schoonmaker is as bad as this guy. in 2019 that we drafted with our second round pick. How can I not remember his name? I remember everything. I've got this insane Rolodex in my head that would trip y'all out. It'll come to me. But it's week 9. It's way too late to keep bitching about the Warriors' second round pick that we made in the last 20 years. When you had Osiris Torrance on the board and Darnell Washington, if you wanted to reach at tight end, you wanted to reach, even though Darnell Washington was in, had some injuries going on and question marks, the upside to him was humongous. I mean, he could have been transcendent. This is one of those games at Carolina that if by halftime it's 31-0 and the game's over, I want Mozzie Smith to play every defensive snap in the second half. Because the only way that he's going to develop and get better is live game reps in regular season games. I go back to the Patriot game, 38-3. The game was over at halftime. The game was over at halftime. It was the biggest loss by Bill Belichick in his head coaching career. Mozzie Smith had 17 plays that game. 17 snaps is all he had. Like, why? Were we afraid that Patriots offense was going to engineer a huge comeback or start running the ball down our throats? No. In games like that, when it's already over with, the Rams, the Giants, the Giants again. When the game's put away, put Mozzie in there full time. Take Hankins out. Take Hankins out. Let him chill and rest because we're going to need him in January. He is playing very good ball, stopping the run, and put Mozzie out there every snap to where he's getting 75%, 80% of the snaps in the second half. I want to see that on the road against Carolina if by halftime we have the thing sold up. So I think Bryce Young is going to get terrorized, probably give our defense 2 or 3 first half balls. One might go to the house. Deron Bland might get his 4th touchdown. He had a pick last week. Pretty sure Dak's going to sling it for 400 yards. I really want to see, I know it's Carolina. I really want to see Brandon Cooks get another 100-yard game. Get 2 of them back-to-back. Get 200-yard games back-to-back. Because that'll mean that we're starting to figure out how to use him in the offense. And if we can start using Brandon Cooks as a very scary number 2 behind a top 3 wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb, with Michael Gallup starting to slowly come along. I know he had 2 catches, but they were big balls. 70 yards and a touchdown. And besides, the horrible drop against Philly, he played pretty well against Philly. And as an ex-receiver, when he's one-on-one, he's pretty good at drawing those PIs. The very last drive we had, he got that 35-yard pass interference penalty to start the drive to get down to the 6. Michael Gallup gets past that mental block that he has in his head. It's all mental because physically he's 100% fine now. Last season he was not 100%. This season he is. It's all mental. He has to trust his knee that he can make the cuts that he used to make before the tear, and that he can make it. He could jump like he used to jump, come down. He could do everything that he could do before the tear. It's a mental thing now with him. He gets past that, and then we got MG13 back as wide receiver number 3, and that's probably like one of the best trio of receivers in the league right now. Like I said, CeeDee Lamb is 6th in the league in catches with 68. At number 1 is Keenan Allen and Stephon Diggs with 73. It's only 5 catches difference between 6th place and 1st place. CeeDee Lamb, 975 yards. It's 3rd in the NFL. Only behind A.J. Brown and Tyreek Hill. A.J. Brown has 1,005. So A.J. Brown has 30 more receiving yards than CeeDee Lamb. Tyreek Hill has 101 more than CeeDee Lamb. Lamb only has 4 touchdowns. A.J. Brown has 6. Tyreek Hill has 8. So I don't think CeeDee Lamb will get the Triple Crown this year, but I believe that Lamb will end the season with the most receiving yards. More than the Cheetah, more than A.J. Brown, and possibly the most receptions. Did y'all know that he is the first? I thought this is insane. I figured some of the later, older greats would have easily done this. But CeeDee Lamb is the first wide receiver in NFL history to have 3 consecutive games of 10 plus catches and 150 plus yards. Kind of crazy, huh? You'd have thought like Jerry Rice would have done that easily, at some point in his career, or Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens. But no, CeeDee Lamb, only one to have 3 consecutive games with 10 plus catches, 150 plus yards. And he is since that Niner game, since that 49er blowout that we lost, Mike McCarthy has tweaked the offense and uncuffed Dak and opened it up. And coaching scared anymore. He's not coaching scared anymore. He was coaching scared the first 5 weeks of the season. Against the Giants, he didn't really have to, do much play calling because defense, special teams won that game. Against the Jets, we just, played well. The offense played well. I think the Jets were coming off a very big win, having Rodgers going down and Wilson leading them to win the game in the last second. Against Arizona, he coached scared. We just outdueled New England just that much better than them. Then against 49ers, he was coaching not to lose, calling plays not to lose, and that you can't win that way. After that Niners debacle, I think Jerry Jones had a talk with him. And then since then, we saw against the Chargers, the offense started to open it up. And then after that, we saw it open it up more and more and more. And I'm very excited about that because I think the more we open this offense up, the more dangerous it's going to be. We're not running the ball well to start the game, but we're passing the ball well. And you can also, teams run the ball to set up the pass. But you can also pass the ball to set up the run. Because if Dak is out there slicing and dicing, you're going to have really, really light boxes. And then that opens the run game. That's when Tony Pollard starts getting his 15-yard hits, and Rico Dowdle starts getting his 15-yard runs. Raymond and Dano, give me y'all's score prediction for Carolina on Sunday. Noon game is going to be out of market for me, so I got to go to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch it. But what's y'all's score prediction? Mine, like I said, is 41-9. I don't believe we let them in the end zone. They get 3 field goals. We score 5 touchdowns, get 2 field goals ourselves. I'd rather it be 42-9, 6 touchdowns even, to where we don't stall at all. 5 on the offense, 1 defense. I like Bland to take 1 back and have 4 pick sixes and only have 1 more to break the record. Anybody have any thoughts on this matter? I know you're driving, Dano. Just type in a score real quick if you can. I need to figure out how to do successful live shows, Dano. Because I got you and Raymond in here right now. And if we had like 7, 8 other guys, just 7, 8 other guys, we could have like some fire going on right now. But we don't. So I've got what 357 subscribers, I believe. Trying to hit 500. What do I need to do to be able to have live shows that are entertaining and interactive? I know Sugar Daddy Williams, Matt Batten, True Cowboys fan 1972, a few of the originals, just like you, would jump in, you know what I mean? But maybe I need to put, now there's a third person in here now. If we can get two more people in here, five, which I'd be the sixth one, then we can really have a round table and get going. Third person, what's your score prediction for the road game at Carolina? As we know, we're probably going to roll, but everybody's got their own opinion. Some people think it might be a Panther trap, being that our last 13 games were 5-8 on the road, dating back to our loss at Philly last year, week 5. That was week 6, actually. Since week 6 last year, we are 5-8 on the road. Going on the road to Carolina. What's your score prediction at Carolina? 1-win Carolina with Bryce Young at quarterback. 42-9. I'm sticking with that. Give me yours. Third person in chat. Now I got Raymond here, I got Dano, and we got a mystery person checking the show out right now. Engage. Give us your thoughts on this matter. And then we can move on to a very interesting topic and subject. Jimmy Backfire. I believe it's the first time I met you, my man. 42-6 Dallas. Your prediction's pretty much on the money with mine. I said 42-9, 42-6. I believe we keep them out of the end zone. They get a pair of field goals, maybe 3 tops. And that's, probably fourth quarter, our defense starts playing lax, which I cannot stand when our defense plays lax because we have a lead. We should have beat the Giants 49-3. But we open up the second half up 28. Our defense plays, relaxed, and we let them get a touchdown. And then with 6 seconds left, 49-10 would have looked so much better because I like our points allowed to be low. I like our average to be low, 17 and below. And Sean Wright, of all people, he cannot cover. Let Sterling Shepard get an easy touchdown with 6 seconds left, going to the end zone. He cannot cover a one-on-one to save his life. Eric Scott Jr. I would trust Eric. He's been a healthy scratch all season. I would trust him more than Sean Wright if I had to bet money on him and Scott Jr. covering somebody one-on-one. Sterling Shepard. One-on-one, I would take Eric Scott Jr. over Nashawn Wright any day because Nashawn Wright is as bad as Kelvin Joseph was in coverage. And on special teams, anytime Turpin had took one to the house. Got taken back because Nashawn Wright still don't know the rules. You can't block somebody in the back. And that was away from the play. We should have traded him like we did KJ for, an obscure cornerback that, maybe would have had some talent. So, Hendershot coming off IR, thank God. We got to make room for him and make room for Rashaan Evans. So 2 guys are going to be off the roster, onto the practice squad or on the injury report. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Noah Igby. You know what I mean? He doesn't really bring much to the table. Plays special teams, barely. And then the other guy that will probably, Tyrus Sweet will probably be the other one that hits the practice squad. Those 2 guys probably will clear waivers and won't, get snatched up. Since Van Der Esch is out for the season, or Rashaan Evans will be signed to the active roster. As, Hendershot, thank God Hendershot's back because Schoonmaker's so bad. I believe Hendershot being back will up our offense even more. And our offense, week by week, will continue to get better, especially if we continue to get Brandon Cooks more involved. We figured out how to get him involved. If He gets 100 yards against Carolina. I know it's Carolina, but still, if he gets 100 yards against Carolina, that's back-to-back 100-yard games, it's very promising. Because then you got a top 3 receiver in CeeDee Lamb, and then you got a baller in your wide receiver number 2 that's gotten 1,000 yards and been number 1 everywhere he's went. He's got 1,000 yards for 4 teams, 5 different quarterbacks. It's not too late for him to get 1,000 this season also. And if he does, he'd be the first receiver in NFL history to get 5,000-yard receivers, 5 different teams, for 5,000-yard seasons. If we don't get past the second round this season, or just say we do make it to the conference championship, and say we get blown out in the conference championship game. This is Mike McCarthy's last year under contract. And Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick will probably mutually part ways in the offseason. This rumor of Bill Belichick being the next head coach for the Cowboys, do y'all think there's any merit to that? Because I personally don't. I mean, I know he's 71. So was Bill Parcells when we brought him in 2003. But to get Bill Belichick, because he's still under contract, even if him and Kraft part ways, to get Belichick, you'd have to trade for him. And Robert Kraft would want, I don't think so either. Robert Kraft would want at least a 1, if not 2 1s for Bill Belichick. And then Belichick wouldn't want to do that because he wouldn't want to go to a team that doesn't have future picks, especially 2 first-round picks for the next 2 seasons. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope, with all the criticism we give Big Mike with clock management and not being able to, give motivational speeches in his press conferences, sometimes it's like, Mike, just stop talking, man. You're making no sense. I would love to be able to praise him at the end of the season in Vegas and say, man, you actually did it. Yeah, I mean, we haven't won 12 games in back-to-back seasons since the 90s. We'll probably win 12 games this year. I'm pretty confident we don't lose more than 2 more the rest of the season. 3 straight seasons of 12-plus wins be pretty impressive. Week 11, what we need to happen, handle business against Carolina and Kansas City. I'm very confident Kansas City will beat Philadelphia in Arrowhead Monday night. If that happens, we go to 7-3. Philly goes to 8-2. And the only way we win the East is if we have a better record than the Eagles, because they will have the tiebreaker over us with conference wins. Unless they somehow drop a divisional game, which they have us and the Giants twice. They're not going to lose against the Giants. The Giants are so horrible this year. Our 3 losses are NFC losses. They have 1 against the Jets. That's AFC. And if they lose against the Chiefs, that's 2, but that's AFC. So even if we ended with the same record and we split with them, they'd have the tiebreaker because we have more conference losses. So the only way we win the East is if we have a better overall record. So they drop at Arrowhead. I believe they'll beat Buffalo the following week. I believe we beat Washington Thanksgiving. And that following Thursday when Seattle comes to our house, I believe we're going to drop them too. And that'll finally be our first win against a winning team. Maybe we might get some credit for that, but I believe we are head and shoulders better than Seattle. Philly's going to beat Buffalo, I believe, unless with Ken Dorsey being gone, the new offensive coordinator, unless they give it spark, lit up under their ass and they start playing really well. They're not looking good, and Josh Allen has 15 turnovers, 11 picks, 4 lost fumbles. And we thought Dak was bad last year with turnovers. But he's not getting a whole lot of, we're not hearing a whole lot about Josh Allen. He's still a top 5 quarterback in everybody's mind. That is what it is. But then after Buffalo, Philly has San Fran at home December 3rd. San Fran's back. They went to a good Jacksonville team, 6-2 Jaguars, and took them apart. 32-point win. See, this is why I need a microphone, so you don't hear that background noise. That's why I need to hit 500, so this channel will monetize and I can start building it, microphone, studio equipment, and all that stuff. That's why every subscription is important. San Fran can beat Philly. They're very physical, and with, Shanahan is smarter than Nick Sirianni. They'd have beat Philly in the championship game if they'd had a quarterback. But Purdy and Johnson went down. Johnson came back in, and they were still hanging with them when Christian McCaffrey was taking snaps at quarterback. It was still a tight game until Jim Johnson started giving the ball away to Philly, just ridiculously, and then it just snowballed. So San Fran is going to want revenge on the Eagles team, and they'll know, especially if Philly drops to Kansas City. San Fran will know if they beat Philly, they'll both have the same record at 9-3, and San Fran will have the tiebreaker over Philadelphia if it comes down to the number one seed, and Philly is winning the division and we're not, and it's San Fran and Philly. There's a lot of implications on that game. San Fran's going to bring the A game to Philadelphia. So if Philly drops 2 of their next 3, and we handle our business against Carolina, Washington, and Seattle, then the December 10th game at home has a lot of implications because the winner will go to 10-3, loser goes to 9-4. So no matter what, the winner will be number 1 in the NFC East, hands down, with a better record. But then we got to put our big boy pants on. At home, we've won 12 in a row. By the time Philadelphia comes back to our house, I believe we'll be 14 in a row at home. And then we should have had them at their house. Everybody knows it. That still makes me sick, the way that game ended. We beat them at home. We handle business. We're 10-3 and they're 9-4. This is all scenarios, you know what I mean? But this is very plausible scenarios. Then we got to put our big boy pants on, go to Buffalo, go to Miami, and then host Detroit. And win those games. Play well. Buffalo, I believe we can beat. I believe we can take the ball away from Josh Allen 3-4 times. Miami, maybe a little bit different story. I mean, if we get quick pressure on Tua, shake him up, they can change things. But if they're healthy with Teron Armstead, if he is playing at that time, all pro left tackle, who was not playing against Philly, if Isaiah Wynn and Connor Williams, who was not playing against Philly, and then Ramsey and Xavier Howard, all pro corners, who are not playing against Philly, but they want to give Philly credit for a quality win against the Dolphins team that was missing 3 All-Pros and 2 starting linemen. That game's going to be tough. But I believe at home against Detroit, I believe we're going to handle Detroit. I believe we're better than them. And then hopefully Week 18 at Washington has implications to the point that if we win the division and or get the 1 seed. We want the 1 seed or the 2 seed. The 2 seed is fine. We will settle for the 2 seed if it comes to that. Just got home. But to win the division, we'll have to go 13-4. Still might not be good enough. Well, if Philadelphia drops 2 out of the next 3, you know what I mean? At Kansas City and at home against San Fran, the way Philly's been winning these games against average teams, very good chance, it's not out of the realm of possibility, that the Eagles will be 9-3 after 12 games. Going to Arrowhead against a rested Kansas City team, they'll be rested too, but Andy Reid, you give Andy Reid a week to prepare. Look at Andy Reid's record after a bye week. You know what I mean? Very good chance, I believe, Kansas City can take Philly. And then San Fran, especially completely healthy, going to Philly, back to the scene of the crime, they're going to want their revenge. And I believe there's a very good shot that we're both 9-3 going to that December 10th game. And if we are, and we handle our business like we should have at Philly and beat them, we'll be 10-4. I mean, we'll be 10-3. They'll be 9-4. If they're 9-4, Dano, pretty good chance that after that, I mean, their schedule lightens up. I mean, they have Seattle after that, but after Seattle, they have the Giants, Carolina, and no, they have the Giants, another bad team, and the Giants. Giants, Arizona, and Giants, I believe, is their last 3 games. So, yeah, if we were to take the division lead after 13 games at 10-3 and they're 9-4, we would have to beat Buffalo on the road, beat Miami, beat Detroit, keep it going. 14-3 would probably be what we'd have to be to win the division. We might have to win out. Now, if Philly drops one more, three more the rest of the season, then we could afford to drop one more. Just not against them. Only way we win the division is if we have a better record than the Eagles. But the number 2 seed is not bad either, though. Winning the division is imperative, but the number 2 seed, you get 2 home games. In the wild card round, you play the 7th seed, which is, the lowest seed in the playoffs, which would probably be Minnesota, somebody like that. And then you win that game, then you host the divisional round. We haven't hosted a divisional round game since 2016, Dak's rookie year. And then, if the number 1 seed falls, then you host the entire playoffs. I agree, we have to prove it. Prove we can win on the road. I'm saying 12-5. I don't think. No, 12-5 will not win the division. No, it will not. 12-5 will get you the 5 seed. Guaranteed. 13-4 might win the division. 14-3 will win the division. But for us to be 14-3, we're what? We're 6-3 right now. We got to win 8 in a row. The next 2 are, super winnable. Carolina, Washington, and Seattle will pose a threat, but like I said, I believe we're head and shoulders better than Seattle. After 12, we'll be 9-3. I believe that 100%. We'll be 9-3 after 12. We just got to hope that the Eagles are 9-3 also. And if they are, then it's game on. And we don't wish injury on anybody, but we've had our attrition, especially early in the season, a lot of it. Let's see Philadelphia overcome some attrition. I mean, their slot cornerback, Avonte Maddox and Bradley Roby, have been hurt. Other than that, they really haven't battled with attrition. Lane Johnson got knocked out of a game against the Jets, but came back the very next week with an ankle sprain, played. Their right guard, Cam Jurgens, been hurt. Their backup was really bad, so Tyler Steen started to play. But the Eagles have not really had to overcome a lot of adversity. So if they get hit with adversity late in the season, let's see how they respond to that. We've had a lot of it last year and this year, and we seem to respond pretty well to that. So the next 3 weeks will be very telling. Very telling. But we got to root for Kansas City Monday night and even Buffalo the week after. I mean, there's every chance in the world Buffalo can upset Philly at Philly if Buffalo's sitting on all cylinders. And then San Fran going to Philly, December 3rd, you best believe the 49ers are going to go give it to them all they got. I just don't want to blow out Carolina. I want this team. I want this team can win a game when the offense as they come back. Yeah, well, to win a game like that, it won't be against Carolina. Probably, I mean, you know, you want us to win a game like we should have won at Philly, where the offense has to come back down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, and we damn near did it. 3 trips inside the 10-yard line in the fourth quarter, come away with 6 points. Schoonmaker catches the ball at the goal line, but his knee hits before the ball crosses the plane, even though he was wrapped up before he caught the ball. But if Jake Ferguson would have done his job and picked the guy he's supposed to pick, ran his route the way he's supposed to run his route, it would have been a wide open walking touchdown for Schoonmaker. We outplayed the Eagles in that game. We outplayed them all day, and they still try to give it to us at the end. I mean, 43 seconds left, and we started our own 15 with 43 seconds and no timeouts. And then 16 game seconds come off the clock, just 16 of them. And we go from our 15 to their 6. I mean, I thought we were going to, I was certain we were going to pull it out at that 6-yard line. Yes, so like the Arizona game. Arizona game in the second half, we're in the red zone 4 times. You know what I mean? But we have what? We have Brock Hoffman at center. We have TJ Bass at right guard. We have Chuma Doga at left tackle, and Tyler Smith playing his first game ever at left guard. You know, and then Trayvon Diggs going down for the season that week. That was just a messed up week, man. Messed up week, losing our top corner, and then offensive line, 3 backups in and 1 guy coming back for the first time, playing at left guard for the first time. We outplayed, stat-wise, Arizona, but we just didn't execute in the red zone. The Eagles capitalized and we didn't. Yeah, that is very true. The Schoonmaker touchdown, no touchdown, was humongous. And it's funny because hindsight is 2020. Keyshawn Johnson was telling Michael Irvin on that, Schoonmaker no touchdown that we should have kicked a field goal and took the points. And if we'd have done that, then on the very last drive, all we would have needed was a field goal to win the game. But, hindsight is 2020, and on 4th and goal from the half-inch line, you always go for it. But still a lot of football left to be played. And the way Philly looks, Philly does not look dominant. They don't look dominant. They've been eking out these games. They've gotten lucky in a few of them. I can tell you that one. One of them was against us. And I think the Roosters are going to come home to roost. I believe that. I believe Philly is going to start getting exposed. They've been eking out these close wins, but that's not going to continue unless they just start, balling out. But that defense, that front 7 is good, but that defense, that secondary is so damn bad that it cannot hold up against a bad passing attack. Sam Howell lit them up twice, man. Mac Jones lit them up. I'm sorry. If Minnesota would have been playing the way they're playing now, when they played them, Kirk Cousins did light them up, but they probably would have walked out of Philly with a W there. I don't think Philly's going to come out of the bye week as strong as people think. And Jalen Carter just got in trouble for shoplifting. He probably won't see any time this season if he gets suspended. To be next year. But we're getting better every week, though. And our offense is getting better every week. Our offense is on track to, I think, by the end of the season, be a top 3 offense, especially if we are figuring out how to get Cooks involved. Brandon Cooks is a key to making this offense great. We have a good offense, but if we can get Brandon Cooks, finally figure out how to get him involved into this new West Coast scheme that we have, and get him heavily involved with a top 3 guy in Lamb on the other side, then this offense can be great. And then Michael Gallup getting past, just if Michael Gallup can just make 2 or 3 big catches a game, like the 2 he made against the Giants, that's all we need from him. And Kevontae Turpin is our X factor, the guy that makes those gadget plays. Cowboys Nation, if you're watching this live show, please hit that red subscribe button. It's free. It costs you nothing. That like button, like Mike Fisher says, helps beat the algorithms, get your video viewed. It gets your show, your clip viewed more, basically. That's all it does, which is important because more views, more chances are you get more subscribers. Every time I do a video and I look and I see that somebody subscribed, it makes my day. It really does, guys. Been watching this team since '93. I bleed blue and silver. I live and die with every game, literally. When we lose a game like we did against Philly, I freaking lose it. When we win a tight game like we did against the Chargers, I'm ecstatic. So, we have another Cadillac week this week, a game that we should not be nervous at any time during the game. Should be an enjoyable game. Tampa Bay goes to San Fran. I doubt they upset them, but we'll see. Detroit, I think they have Chicago, so they'll probably go to 8-2. Seattle, I don't know if Seattle plays. And then Monday night is the big one. More important, this running game needs to get going. You stop the run, and you can run, you win in the playoffs. Well, we can stop the run. We've been showing that. Only teams that ran on us was Arizona and San Fran. Other than that, we've been stopped. We average 63 yards rushing on defense. But we can run the ball. And the way we starting to do that is our pass game is opening up the run game. We like the run game to open up the pass game, of course, but some teams like Kansas City, their passing game opens up the run game. Dak Prescott is entering his 8th year right now. This is his 8th season. Sometimes quarterbacks later in the career somehow get over that hump they couldn't get over when they were, playing earlier in their career. I go back to Peyton Manning, and I'm not comparing the two. I'm not comparing their skill sets at all. But Peyton Manning could not get over the hump until his 9th season. In his 8th season, hell, they went 15-1. They were the number 1 seed. Everybody had them Super Bowl favorites, and they got dropped by Pittsburgh, one and done, in the second round. Home field advantage, all that. Pittsburgh came in and beat them with the Mike Vanderjagt missed field goal at the end of the game. Peyton did reach a championship game in 2003. He reached one of those in 2003. Lost 14-24 against Patriots. But other than that, he was either one and done in the playoffs or he got to the second round and got knocked out. And the narrative with Peyton Manning, the narrative with Peyton Manning was in the regular season he's amazing, but he cannot get it done in January. That was the narrative on him until 2006, his 9th year. I think Dak, and I've been his biggest critic since 2019, but I think Dak Prescott this season is starting to show growth that we haven't seen since, 2018? He was playing pretty good ball then, but, this season he's starting to show growth that we haven't seen in a long time. I agree. We need to run the ball. We need long extended drives in the playoffs. Time of possession is important, yes. You want those 8-minute, 15-play drives, That's why Philly really beat us. It's because he had those two really long drives in the second half. In the third, I mean, they had the ball the entire third quarter and scored two touchdowns to end those drives. That killed us. Now in the fourth quarter, we outgained them like what 162 yards to 14 yards in their 10-yard line three times, but we just did not finish. But I haven't seen Dak get over the hump. Even the San Fran game, we couldn't get a first down. Our defense was gassed. Yeah, in that San Francisco game, if you realize Mike McCarthy was still calling plays to not lose the game, he was still coaching scared. Since that game, like I said, I believe Jerry had a talk with him. Since that San Francisco game, the offense has changed. And we are not being conservative. We are starting to be aggressive on offense. I believe that game saved our season. Believe it or not. That game gave us a kick in the ass that woke us up and was like, hey, Mike, what you're doing is not working. You need to uncuff Dak Prescott and air out this ball because the running game is not there, and this dink and dunk that you're doing is not working. And since that San Fran game, our offense has gotten better every week. Every week it's gotten better. And we're finally getting Cooks involved now. He got involved against the Chargers. 39 yards, touchdown, end around for 13. Little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, big breakout game. I know it's against the Giants, but still, breakout game. Against Carolina, it's like a scrimmage. Design some plays to get him more involved again, get him a 100-yard game. And then against Washington, if he has another big game against Washington, then we know we got something going on. And if Tyron Smith can stay healthy, that'd be huge. And Terrence Steele needs to get his shit together because if Terrence Steele does not lit up that sack against Josh Sweat, we probably win that game. We're at the 11-yard line, and he gets beat right off the cuff, and that was a loss of like 13 yards. That ended the game right there. Point is, when we needed the offense to step up, they haven't done it. Defense can only do so much. That's debatable, man. Philly did start twice at the 40. Illegal procedure. Brandon Aubrey kicks the ball out of bounds. And then on another kickoff for Sean Evans, face mask. They had two drives starting at the 40. Defense didn't stop them. Let them in the end zone. 60-yard touchdown drives. Our offense has been stepping up. That Schoonmaker play that didn't get in the end zone was bang bang. Reason why we're 6-3. Yes, we are 6-3. But we're getting better though. We're not getting worse. And like Bill Parcells says, you are what your record says you are. We are 6-3. We're a 6-3 team. After 12 games, we're going to be a 9-3 team. And I'm willing to bet money Philadelphia will be 9-3 after 12 games also. When have they done it? Well, like I was saying, against Philly, that Schoonmaker touchdown they got called back. It's a game of inches. Now, the linebacker did wrap up 86 before he even caught the ball. That's why he was going down as he was holding the ball in, and his knee hits and the ball is short. We score on the other drive. Dak steps out of bounds on a 2-point conversion, which is huge. Against the Chargers, the offense did it. The offense stepped up when we needed them to. We won by 3, just like we did in 2021, 2017, same exact score at SoFi. And the offense is getting better. You'll see. This week won't count because it's Carolina, but Washington's been scrappy. They took Seattle to the brink last week. Thanksgiving, our offense, they put on a show against Washington. That'd be something. And then the following Thursday, if our offense puts on a show against Seattle, that'll be something also leading up to Philadelphia. So these next 4 weeks will be humongous. These next 4 games for us and the Eagles will be huge. And I believe Kansas City and San Fran will drop Philly. I believe they will. I believe they're better than them. And Kansas City might not be better than Philly, but when they're playing at Arrowhead, it's a different story. Eagles play really good at home, just like we do. When Philly's on the road, they're not as good. And Kansas City's damn good at home. So you could bet money Kansas City's gonna come out and beat the Eagles again, but this time on their home field. And then when San Fran goes to Philly, they're gonna come out and they're gonna punch them in the mouth and give them all they got. Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Ohio State buddies, they're gonna have a Jalen Hurts party. That's gonna be a good game right there. That defensive front trying to stop Christian McCaffrey in that running game and Deebo Samuel and whatnot. It's a game again. It's a game of matchups. We don't match up well against San Fran. Well, it didn't seem like it in Week 5. I don't think Philly does either. I don't think they match up well against them either. They beat them in the championship game because they had no quarterback. But we shall see. See, I'm going on an hour. Appreciate you, Dano, for catching me on this, man. Raymond Solis, appreciate you for checking in, man. Anybody else who checked in and checked out that didn't talk, it's all good. Please subscribe, like, and share, everybody. It is, dinner's almost ready. It's 6:39, not too late. Feels late with the time change, man. Every time I fall back, hour goes back. It gets dark early. I hate that. All right, guys. I'm just going to do a regular video tomorrow. Regular video pre-game for Carolina and what to expect for Week 11 and what we need to root for and what I believe will happen. Now we got 4 people here in the live show, right when I was about to shut it down. Y'all give me y'all score prediction for the Carolina game and the KC Philly game. Now one person walked out. Dano, I don't understand that. People will like come in and it'll jump right back out. It's like stay for a minute, listen, and you might be intrigued and you might want to, I don't know. That just frustrates me. Maybe my channel's not big enough to have successful live shows on a consistent basis. Maybe I need to get, to 6, 7, 800 subscribers for me to have at least 20 or 30 guys jump in, I'll have a call in line for that also. Call in line. As soon as my live shows have people, I'll have a call in line. That's for sure, man. You have a good night too, Dano. DC for life, guys. I catch y'all guys on the flip side. You have a good night, good Friday, and a good weekend, a good holiday weekend for Thanksgiving. Charles and Charge is out.